Now, hate for the underground scene has really just been here since day one. From people that just hate the music as a whole and rather listen to Drake and Lil Baby, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, even sometimes I gotta play some Drake. Then there's the type of hate for underground where they basically say, oh, this version of underground was 10 times better. You know, they're all up and rowdy saying, oh, we need to go back to this version of underground. The underground right now sucks. Which over the past couple of years, it's really just been an ongoing cycle of people saying, go back to the old sound, this sound sucks. Which I truly never understood this statement, because last time I checked, you can go back to their old music. That shit did not disappear. And you can just simply keep your mouth shut and listen to the music that you like. Some of y'all be acting like people are forcing these new artists down your throat. Like if some current underground artist right now just sounds like noise to you, I promise you your opinion is not changing their monthly listeners by a bit. Y'all just be killing people's moods for no reason. But we're gonna understand why there's such a deep hate for these underground artists and underground music, which some of it is stemming from underground fans themselves and some mainstream fans, and how the hate for the underground scene will probably never go away. But make sure you show some love to the channel. You know, I got a family to feed, and we're gonna get right into this. First, we gotta go back to where the hate really started, which we're gonna go back to 2017, which this is known as the SoundCloud era of the underground, which I know there's an underground scene before then, but this is when I feel like the underground got a bit more mainstream back in 2017, which a lot of new rappers started rising like Famous Dex, Smoke Perp, Lil Pump, X, Ski Master Slump God. And this is around the time that the famous phrase of mumble rap started rising. People started calling all these rappers mumble rappers, and there was pretty much a lot of hate for these type of rappers, as it was really different from what was in the rap scene currently. Like we had Lil Pump saying two lyrics, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, and the old heads couldn't comprehend how this is getting hundreds of thousands of plays. Same with emo rap. It was a really popular genre in the underground during this time with artists like X, you know, and Lil Peep. And at the time, I just remember people being pretty weirded out by X's and Lil Peep's sounds, saying this is mumble rap, you know, they can't hear anything they're saying. And overall, I think this era of the underground kind of gave a lot of people the narrative that underground music is just low effort and it's overall just bad music, and mostly for, you know, a younger audience, which to some extent you could still argue that now in today's underground. But compared to then, the underground has evolved a lot. There is so much layers to the underground compared to then, and I feel like it's reaching a point where if you don't like a certain underground artist, there's probably 5 others that you probably enjoy a lot, which in the SoundCloud era you definitely didn't have that diversity, you know, to this extent. But what I'm basically trying to say is that there's a lot more genres of the underground scene than before. But with all this, I just want to say that hate in the underground is nothing new. It's really been an ongoing thing for nearly a decade now. You know, and a reason why the underground scene gets so much plaque, so much hate, has to be its fan base. Like there'll be an underground song, you know, in the back of a TikTok or really anything, and someone asks what song it is, and y'all will swear the person that said this committed some sort of crime. Cause underground fans will gatekeep music like their mom's life depends on it, and they'll just overly be rude for no reason at all. And I definitely think this repels some people to even listen to underground music. And another thing, I feel like old heads or people just generally older listen to underground music, they already have a standard to really judge anything that's new, especially when it comes to underground music. So of course they're gonna hate the newer generation of music just because it's new, which is kind of lame, but I can't argue with it because that might be me in the future. Another thing is just human nature. It's easy to call anything trash that you don't really understand or makes you feel uncomfortable. And I definitely feel like in some certain areas of the underground, it can definitely make you feel like this, which I've been listening to underground music for years now, and there's still some artists, some music that I personally have this with, and a lot of people don't really want to adjust their ears and really listen to the music. So anything unique or different is bound to get hate, no matter what it is. Another thing, I feel like a lot of shit that gets pushed out to TikTok and social media is some of like the worst songs from the underground, like the worst artists, and that's what mostly gets the most engagement. This is why people are more interested in listening to gimmick artists than actual good underground artists. And since they see this side of the underground, they assume the whole underground scene is exactly like this, and they end up saying the whole underground scene is garbage due to their limited knowledge. And some other hate I see from the underground is people saying, you know, the underground all sounds the same, or the whole underground just sounds like Cardi, which this hands down gotta be the most brain dead take I ever heard. Like a lot of rappers in the underground scene don't even sound similar at all. Like Pretty Fun sounds nothing like Bullymon, and Osama Sun sounds nothing like Summrs. These are only a couple underground artists and they don't even hop on the same type of beats. Like the only people that be saying this type of take is either very new to underground or just hating. Like sure, there be some trends in the underground where people try to do a certain sound, like for example Rage this year, but there's still a lot of other artists doing a whole different sound. And then there's people saying that everyone sounds like Cardi in the underground. You know, sure there's Che where he did Rest in Bass where he kind of sounded like Cardi in some of the tracks, but besides that, that's all. And I also want to say that Che didn't blow up from copying, you know, Cardi. He's been doing different sounds for the past 4 or 5 years now. You know, and Osama Sun do be copying some of Cardi's aesthetic, but That's really all. Like, the music sounds totally different. And to be honest with you, I'll definitely say that the underground is definitely more experimental and creative with the music than the mainstream. Now, I admit there is some good creative music in the mainstream, but I feel like a lot of it just sounds like slop, especially in the mainstream rap scene right now. Like, you can't convince me that this is good at all. Like, I don't know if my ears just evolved too much, but that gotta be the most boringest music I ever heard. And there's so much mainstream rap music that sounds exactly like that. Like, I think I'd rather burst my ears listening to Too Slimy every day than listen to whatever that is for the rest of my life. And it's crazy to me because people listen to music like this and then have the attitude to say that the underground all sounds the same. Like, you can't be dead ass, bro. Now I really want to get into why the hate for the underground scene will probably never really go away. Just like how I said previously, in a way, is that the mainstream is meant to break the rules, you know, it's meant to be experimental. You know, like the main purpose of underground music is that it's not meant to be liked by every single person. That's why I get so much hate from different type of listeners. You know, and eventually when time passes, some of these artists will fall off, some of these artists will really blow up. But one thing all these artists did universally was really change music to what it's going to be in the future. Like Lil Uzi, Cardi, they were once in the underground scene. At one time, people would say their music was experimental, you know, it was underground music, but they stuck with it, they kept evolving their sound, and they found an audience that really enjoyed them for their music. There's nothing really stopping the underground scene from doing exactly what they did. And the newer generation will always sound wrong at first until some time passes. There's a lot of artists that you would say are GOATs now, but in the past, they were hated. Just like how I showed at the start of the video, it's really an ongoing cycle. You know, people always hate on something different, people always hate on something, you know, they feel uncomfortable with. But for any artists that are watching this video, or anyone just overall creative, you really just gotta see your vision and really just go for it. No matter what people think it's ass, or no matter people think, you know, it's cringy or corny, you just gotta see your vision and just live for yourself. And to anyone new to this channel or the underground scene, you know, tell me why some of y'all hate the underground scene, you know, or even why you think it's, you know, as hated as it is now, or what underground sound do you think gets the most unnecessary hate. But that will pretty much conclude this video. You know, I just want to say happy holidays, happy New Year's, happy Christmas. You already know for the rest of this year, you know, I'm really gonna be grinding on this YouTube channel. I'm also expecting to buy a PC soon, so hopefully videos come out, you know, faster than me on this laptop. It'd be taking me damn near 2 hours to export, you know, an 8-minute video. So expect more frequent uploads throughout this year soon. But if you reach to the end, you might as well like and sub, and I am gone.
When I blow, I want to see. When I go, I want